Hello everyone. We're in conversation with Senior Advocate Dama Seshadri Naidu, former High Court judge. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to be a part of this interview series for Bar and Bench. To begin the interview, I'm curious to know about your journey from Chittoor to becoming a lawyer. Why did you choose to do law?
Well, any profession, there are two ways to choose. One is by design, and the other one by accident. Most of the times, it's the case as of an accident. I never chose until my mid-30s this profession. I enrolled myself as a lawyer when I was 35. I began my journey, as you said, in Chittoor district. Now it's called Tirupati district or Balaji district. It's been divided. And there in a village, it began. Then I had my schooling in the village nearby. Then I did my polytechnic. Nothing to do with the whole thing. I did my polytechnic, a 3-year diploma course. Then I did odd bits and odds jobs. Then I couldn't fit in. Then I went back to my village, started my cultivation. Then somehow I wrote this banking recruitment examination. So I got selected in a bank, a nationalized bank. There I served 11 years as a clerk. When I was serving, I needed to have a graduation for increment purpose. Otherwise, you wouldn't get with the basic qualification of 10th class. You wouldn't be getting these increments. So for that purpose, I did my Open University BA for the increment's sake. Then when I was going to the bank, one day I came across a friend of mine, a long lost friend in school. So I asked him curiously, Ravi, many years I haven't seen you. What are you doing? He said, I'm a lecturer. Oh, you're a lecturer. Where are you a lecturer? He said, I'm in a law college. Oh, there's a law college in Tirupati. I asked him. Yes, it's a private law college. Even if you want, you pay 15,000 rupees for 3 years, you will get a degree. Well, I became curious. I thought, why not a degree for that purpose? I applied for loan in the bank as I was an employee, went over there, got my admission. Somebody filed a bill before the High Court that year, complaining that many private colleges across the state of Andhra Pradesh admitted students without this law set. So all our admissions were cancelled. I went back to the college, asked my money. They refused to give it back, said that you write the exam next year and come back. Only to save my 15,000, I wrote the exam. I got whatever the rank. Then I pursued in the same college. I had my degree. Then lo and behold, one day I thought, now I have a degree. Why not I quit and start practice? Until then, I never saw the court physically. I never knew where the court really existed, even in Tirupati. It was only in the movies. So perhaps that inspired me, I don't know. Then I quit. I became a lawyer when I was 35. That was 1998.
Tell us about your initial days as an advocate.
Well, initially, I started in the Mafuzal, Tirupati, where additional district courts are there and other courts are there, subordinate courts. Now you call them district courts or district judiciary. Then 4 years I was there. 4 years I was there. And many advocates, especially the judges then on the bench, they were very sympathetic towards me because they thought I was a fool giving up a good bank job and coming to this profession, which was quite uncertain. Then 4 years I was there. Then some judicial officers and also friends around, they advised me, you have taken a leap in the life when it comes to career. Why do you want to confine yourself to Mafuzal? Why don't you move over to High Court? Then I decided I'd better shift. 2002, 4 years later, in June, I shifted over to High Court. That's where I began practicing on my own. Then 11 years down the line, you know the rest. I became a judge.
So eventually, how did judgeship happen?
Well, it was 2012. I shifted over in 2002. I told you, June. And 2012, May, I got the calling from the collegium. One of the collegium members called me up. That is Justice Goda Raghuram, quite an erudite judge I've ever seen. He called me up and said, we would like to consider you. Are you willing? Then I said, sir, I started off my career very late, and I've just been picking up and making some money because, given my rural background and other things, I can't say that I have that comfort. No, I just need to have time to think. Then I went out to my mentor called Justice Chalameswar. I told him, sir, this is the calling I got, and I don't know which way I should go. But left to myself, I don't want to be. I would like to pursue my profession as a lawyer rather than as a judge. Then he told me, all right, you want to make money, and everybody thinks of making money. Imagine if good people don't become judges, then even our children and our grandchildren will not have any protection in the society. So courts are quite essential. Good judges are essential. I believe you will make yourself a good judge. Don't think of money, accept it. Then I went back to Honorable Justice Raghuram and I told him that, sir, I was willing. That's how I made the cut.
I see. A lot of young lawyers nowadays are a little hesitant to, to move over to the bench.
They have a very good justification. You know how lucrative this profession has become. Now it has pushed back all other professions, engineering, medical, whatever you call it, right? And you make a lot of money if you have talent, if you are willing to put in long hours in your practice, then success is assured. With opening up of the economy, corporatization, opportunities are galore. And then imagine, with all your knowledge and experience, you're becoming a judge. What is that you are getting? See, money is a bad thing. Let me say, a judge or even a former judge should not be talking about the money, but it's a brutal reality. How will you attract talent when what you get is not even one day's earning of a reasonably successful lawyer for the whole month? So this is the problem. If you want real talent for the judiciary, I think the system has to change, and they should be, the position should be remunerative. You know, these judges don't get salary because it's not an employment, it's an honor. They get a sort of an honorarium, and no increments, nothing would be there. Once in 5 years, there would be revision of pay. But if you really want, I don't think, especially, say, for example, Bombay High Court, a vibrant High Court where I had the fortune of working. And on the original side especially, many advocates with immense talent refuse to be judges because, you know, the obvious reason. So that's why I think there should be rethinking on this aspect. That's why young generation may not have much fascination for that.
So was this one of the reasons why you tendered your resignation?
That's you touched the raw nerve. It's a very difficult question to answer. Yes, if you want me to be really honest, yes, the financial constraint, the extreme stringent ways, more so when you are working outside the state and your family left behind in some other state, it's almost impossible to support two families, two establishments of the same family at two different places. And yes, that weighed quite a lot. And, you know, this is all-consuming profession when it comes to be a judge. Round the clock, you should be thinking of the cases, the fate of the people, and you have been bogged down by your financial constraints, etc. You can't give the best in that one. So I thought, when I could not give the best, I don't have any place to be there and to be an obstruction with all my problems overbearing. That's why I felt that I'd better put in my papers. Yes. Essentially financial. More so, you know, pretty well these days, it titillates once there is some sensation. And many journalists especially called me and they said, sir, what is the reason? Any political pressure? This, that. I said, my reasons are quite mundane, absolutely personal, nothing edifying. That's what I've told them.
So in your tenure, you've served as a judge in 3 or more high courts: Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, and Bombay high courts.
Yes.
What has been your experience in each high court?
Yes. You know, after my resignation, I used to tell, had I continued and retired in the usual course, I would have been putting my name board saying, so-and-so, former judge of A to Z high courts. I stopped at the third one though. Well, uh, see, Hyderabad, when I was elevated until I was transferred, it was 7 month tenure for me. And it was my parent bar. Everybody knew me and vice versa. So nothing much to notice because I was born in that and brought up in that atmosphere. So it's become sort of a second nature and nothing particular or spectacular. It's been like that. But when I went over to Kerala, it was altogether a new experience. So was the case with Bombay as well. That's why, and also my tenure was very limited in Andhra Pradesh. Let me tell you about Kerala. Kerala, it's a very hard working state when it comes to advocacy. And they're one of the most well behaved bars I've ever seen. They have never, 5 years I was there, I have not seen in one single instance of an advocate raising his voice. And the when it comes to Indian average, I think for every 10,000 people, 12 cases is the norm. You can expect 12 cases getting filed if 10,000 people are living. And Kerala, it is 28. More than twice the national average when it comes to litigation. They are very, very much aware of their case rights, perhaps, and then they keep coming to the courts. That's why the workload is very good. And even the adjudication is the faster lane, because always we work to the full complement of the High Court. And one feature I observed there was they've been obsessed with case law. Even a young lawyer, the moment he starts, he would belt out at least a dozen of cases and saying that it's been covered. I used to tell them, please don't limit your capacity by simply relying on a decided case. It kills your creativity. Think originally, only as a prop in the end. If I'm not convinced, then quote the case law. Otherwise, they're very, very studious and they worked really hard. And another absolutely brilliant feature about them is judiciary there is absolutely honest. I was told in the last 50, 60 years, there hasn't been a single allegation of corruption, beginning from magistrate to High Court. That is one. And when it comes to Bombay High Court, Bombay High Court, it's a court of high stakes. You know pretty well, court of high stakes. And I expected it could be a mixed bag when it comes to integrity, etc. But believe me, in a very sense of responsibility, I say, there, my exposure is to the High Court. It is one of the most honest High Courts I've seen. And judges, they work, almost all of them, up to 9 in the offices. They reach home only beyond 9. Because humongous workload there. And when it comes to advocates, you've got a sort of a dichotomy there: original side, appellate side. Original side, it's a sort of a traditional Mumbai born and brought up advocates they are. And appellate side, from all over the state or within that jurisdiction, because we have got benches as well in Nagpur, Aurangabad, and another one in Goa. That's why it's a diaspora of people from all the other districts coming over there. And yes, very well-behaved bar and very vigilant bar. Any judge, if they perceive he's erratic, they set him right very politely, otherwise very firmly. Yes, both are very pleasant experience, a learning experience. Not to cause any offense, I'm telling this. Indeed, this is what I honestly believed about these two high courts.
Also, sir, do you think sudden transfer of judges to different high courts is considered a punishment?
You call, I'm a victim of that one, right? But in the hindsight, I say that that's the greatest advantage I've had by working in more than one high court, getting exposed to their culture, their legal methods, and I enriched myself, yes, right? But the problem is, when you are transferred, many people look down upon you as if it were a stigma. And the perception is that only when you are corrupt, you are transferred. Right? This is a perception that has gained ground. So on that count, yes, I did suffer a little. But now I must say, with a sense of pride, yes, I worked in different high courts and I got the opportunity to excel myself because I've been given the opportunity. And then with my interaction with all the brothers and sisters on the bench and the advocates of different styles in different states, yes, I enriched myself. So transfer, now I say that it's a blessing for me, but then it was a blessing in disguise. But transferred, yes, I felt devastated. I felt ashamed because many a time when I came across one retired judge on an event, I was introduced, he's so and so, transferred so and so. He simply looked at me askance. Oh, you started your innings already on the corrupt side. You can't escape this inevitability. But now, by and large, that's been just waning off.
So after judgeship, you returned to private practice. Did the experience on bench bring about any change or give a different perspective as a lawyer?
Yes, I believe working as a judge did help to perform as a lawyer because, at least to some extent, you know how a judge thinks. I always tell young lawyers, suppose you're a lawyer and you see a judge on a point not getting convinced, you feel frustrated. You feel, what is this? Such a fundamental thing. And this brainless judge doesn't understand. How did he become a judge? This is the common reaction of anybody, including me, when I was before my becoming a judge. After becoming a judge, you know the perspective, how an advocate thinks, how a judge thinks. There is a very good book on that topic called Legal Analyst by Franz Worth that tells us that an advocate always thinks ex post. That means whatever has happened in the past, I need a solution for that one. So please provide me the solution. That's how he comes to the court. But the judges think ex ante. That means, yes, I don't mind giving you the solution, but what is the impact of my decision in future on the society or people similarly placed, etc. This is ex ante approach. It's something like you have got a plane, it's been hijacked with 450 people on board, and they demand that only one person from your prison should be released, right? A terrorist gang could hijack it. They demand that only one person should be released, so that will give you 450 people's liberty and lives. And common sense dictates that we'd better do that. It's a good bargain. It's 1:450, right? This is what we call ex post. Something has happened, some solution should be there. But ex ante is, if I release 450 as a bargain chip to save, I release one man to get 450, it gives a leverage for the crime. They feel crime pays, so they repeat because there is something to gain. So that's why all countries in a pact, they have said that no, they should not. Now it has stopped. So that way, court also thinks, if I grant a bail, if I grant an order, what is the impact of that decision? So they think ex ante. They think forward. And we, as lawyers, think backward because we wanted a solution. You buy just, I buy remedium. I have a problem, please provide the solution. And this perspective gets improved if you are a judge turned lawyer. Otherwise, I don't think you have anything else.
So you just mentioned a book, and you're a known literarian and a bibliophile, so much so that your book collections are a topic of discussion among lawyers.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this passion?
I had been obsessed with books. And there are certain commentaries which I buy every edition. And when I'm in my office, when I feel bored, many people do many things if they are bored, but I simply go to my book racks and stare at them. My heart fills with that. I don't know why and what reason. It's nonsense. Perhaps it's an obsession, you call it, a weirdness, you call it, whatever. But somehow my fascination for books that never ends. When I was in Kerala, when I was visiting districts on assignments and to deliver lectures, etc., for the bar, etc., they are very inquisitive. They would like to learn more. So that's why I was going over there. And there, the district judge who comes to meet me, or any other judicial officer who comes to meet me as a colleague, he would say, "Sir, this is a historic place. There is 4,000 temple, 4,000-year-old temple, 3,000-year-old temple, etc., etc. All these things." I say, "My temple is a bookshop. Any bookshop is my temple. Show me which is the bookshop here." So that way, wherever I go, You take the example of USA, UK, Europe, everywhere. Whenever I go, I only tell them, please show me the places where I get good books. So I go out there, I spend some time, buy a book or two. Even as a judge, I always maintained a running account with many book suppliers, and I used to pay them whenever I get my salary. One shop owner commented, "Sir, I've been running this shop for 30 years. I haven't seen a judge all the way coming and making an account, a running account and buying books." Yes, I'm fascinated. I love the books. At one stage, my books were as more value than my whole property put together.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon.